We're going to go around real quick and say what your favorite part of the last game was. Hopefully something. Who wants to go first? Jared, you look like you want to go first.
Sure, let's pick the person doing research. Okay.
So Jared clearly didn't have a favorite part of last game, so Diana.
Okay, so like my character Clip, she actually did not do anything game-wise really, other than steal some hush puppies, pretty much.
Well, that's like a recap. Was that your favorite thing? Is that she didn't do anything?
Pretty much.
So just to clarify, make sure everybody understands. So Diana's favorite thing about the last game was playing as little as possible. Jared, did you think of one?
Card game.
Jared had no fun. Okay. I was trying to get a couple sound bites, but I think that came out feeling more like seminary where your teacher asks you what everybody learned. So we won't do that again. All right. And we're live now. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Hopefully this is working.
Huzzah.
This is your, this is us. Hi, welcome. Welcome to Next Stop Module, where we play old modules, both classic and obscure. I should really write that down on a cue card or something, so I don't have to remember it every time. But then it would sound less sincere, and I'm always from the heart, so there you go. This is our episode 1, and the game that did not record, I'm going to call episode 0, but we're also going to recap what happened in the episode that you can't watch, so that's interesting. That I did write down just so I don't forget important details. So that will sound slightly scripted.
I was gonna say I got it in
And then I'll go back to making everything up. I did see yours. I wrote down like a brief version here.
That's fine.
That's not real mean. I'm sorry.
I don't care.
I wrote.
It's one of those. I had high expectations of doing both Google Doc and OneNote, and it's like I typed up all the stuff the day of.
Yeah.
And then like, yeah, I'll get back to this later and just.
I was gonna say that while we were all together, everybody should just pick one because it's gonna be a lot easier than trying to keep track of both.
Probably do Google Docs because it's a little bit
easier
and it shows what changes. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, if we're going to be in Hangouts anyway, we may as well.
Go all Google. Get them as a sponsor. Get those sweet Jeff Bezos dollars. No, that's Amazon. Who runs Google? I don't even know.
You don't have to. You
Bob
have to get
Bob
them as a
Google.
sponsor if they just rule your entire life. Like they don't need to advertise.
Sundar Pichai?
Right.
I'm pronouncing his last name.
That's true. What is it?
Executive Officer of Google LLC.
Okay. By the way, Jared, I did get your link. I will look at this later. I can't read a homebrewed monster bird while sorry.
The only thing is it has life since 90 feet.
The life force of living creatures and I gotcha. Like I say though, I'll have to look over it later, so
That's fine. It probably won't be necessary to worry about it for now, so.
okay. So to recap real quick, it's the night of the Winter Solstice, which is, a night traditionally associated with magic and grave danger and the veil being thinner than normal, demons and devils being able to cross over to our world, or the world of Faerun, I guess, easier than normal. In Waterdeep, which is usually considered a more modern place, a more civilized and slightly less superstitious place, even here in Waterdeep, people usually stay indoors. Most of the city guard doesn't show up for work, which kind of begs the question of, does the city guard not show up because it's dangerous, or is it dangerous because the city guard doesn't show up? As I pointed out before, this is an old module, totally not ripping off of the Purge at all. I forgot I was going to show you guys a picture of the module because it says levels like 10 to 12, but I'm sure you guys will be fine. You guys are a Level 1 will be fine. Don't
If I can steal hush puppies, I can steal lives, right?
sure. It'll.
Those are your catchphrase. I steal hush puppies and lives.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Don't- Gee, I heard Tomb of Horrors was like a really hard. Are you supposed to be like level 18? No, you'll be fine. It'll be okay.
Got this.
Just pickpocket that sphere of annihilation.
So there's this
You got it, dude.
casino. The Lucky Break is what it's called. And every year on the Winter Solstice, they hold an all-night tournament that includes some chips. It includes room and board. You know, people gamble all night. They fall asleep there, and by the time they wake up, the solstice is over. So you're safe, but you're also, you know, hungover, lost all your money, had a good time. You know, casino stuff. Does everybody want to tell us real fast what you were doing there? So it's not just me reading?
I'll start first.
Sure.
My character technically started first. So my character, Eclipse of the Moon, colloquially known as Clip, she is an apprentice locksmith, and so she was tasked to bring lockboxes to the Lucky Break to check and make sure that they're, you know, in good standing. And then she was offered work to help out with the tables, and she politely declined and decided to mop. And eventually she ended up stealing some food because she got bored mopping, and she weirded out a ranger upstairs.
So the food taking probably wasn't a big deal, but the fact that you're shirking work might
Yeah.
get you some unpleasant looks if you're caught.
Yeah.
Who'd we go with next? Yinmu, I think.
Sure. So Yinmu is a member of the Yin family. It's a prominent aristocratic family, and they're on their way down to Tavaray, which to be trained by uncle, possibly their uncle, somebody's uncle. He's just uncle.
They have kind of a big family where there's a lot of like you know, informal titles.
It's yeah. I mean, it's not just a big family. It's a collections of families.
Like a clan or like a
yeah.
Clan's probably the best word I can think of off the top of my head.
Anyhow, Yin Huo is the big leader and fellow council member in we're in Neverwinter? No, we're in
Waterdeep.
And so coming in to visit Yin Huo and do some gambling.
Okay. Thistle?
Thistle was there reluctantly trying to impersonate his former master so that you could bum a free night's room and stay, but apparently that's not allowed for paladins because the universe won't let him do it. So
More
he was
your
trying to-
dice. Your dice would let you do it. Sorry, go ahead.
So he resigned himself to doing some gambling with the servants downstairs.
Okay, and Kef.
Calf was in hell because that's where she lives.
As you do.
Yes, and she was in a elevator, talking with her buds about so Nathaniel and Skull Crusher, and Skull Crusher is interested in like a resistance and overthrow this little town in hell, and Cap. Oh, and because he wants to pet puppies, and right now he's not allowed to. And Calf used to be a human lawyer, and so she understands the cycle of tyranny, and she's like, I'm not sure that that's going to work out the way you want it to work out, but we're going to talk about it another time.
Skull Crusher clearly has not really thought it through. He just kind of like joined the hip new thing because he likes puppies.
Yeah.
I don't think the two are really related, but in his mind, he's somehow connected them. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I would overthrow a town in hell so I could pet puppies. Like, I don't blame him. So then I went to my boss, and I tricked him into thinking that I don't know anything about a potential rebellion. I got a new job, which is to kill a dragonborn at this high roller tournament. And so I went, so now I'm at the casino. I climbed through a window and was able to get into a room that had some clothing that I could use. Because my character is not dressed like an aristocrat, and I knew this was an aristocratic event. So I found this closet full of dresses, put one on that's big enough to hide my two-handed axe, ate a croissant sandwich out of the garbage, which, as mentioned, was the highlight of my night, and then kind of joined a table and made some new friends. And what else? There's a bard who's trying to talk to me about his instruments, and I'm really trying to get out of that conversation.
All right. So, classy. Keeping it classy. So, sorry, pick up from that. So, you were in this room. You found a pink dress, which I just like to remind everybody, you have, lavender skin and teal hair, being a tiefling. And now you're wearing a pink Southern Belle dress, so it's got like a huge, like, poof. What do you call that at the bottom, where like it pops
There's
out?
a hat.
And
so that
like the
covers
Sutter
my
hat
head.
with like the big brim.
Yeah.
And you walk downstairs and were immediately accosted by a lady who's clearly the owner of the dress.
Yeah.
Seeing as how she's wearing a matching one that's blue. She seemed a little oblivious to it and was like excited that you guys kind of match. And doesn't appear to know how to actually play cards, but she's just happy to be here. And everything seemed to be going fine when a man walked in the door with, I believe I said 3 swords in the front and 3 axes in the back, I think is how I described it. And said the words, one in his head, thank you very much. Said the words, "Mona, I believe we have a problem," and then fell over to the floor, presumably, if not dead. No, probably dead. Spoiler, he's dead. He's clearly lost a lot of blood. I would give his prognosis is not good. And that's where we're at.
He's not all dead. There's magic for that.
As long as he's not what? Bald?
All dead.
Oh.
Is he all dead or mostly dead?
I thought there was some obscure spell where you can't revive bald people. I was like, this is totally new to me. How do Dragonborns manage? Do scales count? All right. Well, nobody knows. All right, guys. This is D&D. You do whatever you want. What do you guys want to do? Who wants to go first? Somebody do something. Quick.
Not it.
I assume this is the first floor front door that I came in as well.
It is.
Okay. Is everyone looking over there?
Yes. People are starting to run over.
Say that again.
People are starting to run over to, assist / see if he's alive.
Help him, and I would like to roll sleight of hand to see if I can pocket a few chips from off the table.
You're the best
The
paladin.
paladin. Winking.
All right, man. Give me a sleight of hand roll.
Okay. What's my sleight of hand here? 17.
All right. So now you're grabbing the chips in the middle of the table, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are you trying to grab all the? I assume that you guys are like in the middle of like going back and forth. Are you grabbing all of them, or are you just grabbing a few so it doesn't look like you grabbed any?
Just a couple.
All right. Yeah, that's no problem. You easily pocket. It's chips. It's not coins, but you easily pocket 4 chips
Okay.
without an issue.
And then I'll wander over to see if the guy can be helped.
All right. As you head over, I didn't really mention it in the recap, but the proprietor of this casino is Abner. He refers to himself as Honest Abner. He's kind of made a career out of being in nobody's pocket by being in everybody's pocket, accepting small bribes from everyone and kind of playing every side, but like everybody knows he does that, so it's kind of almost like a neutral ground here for various gangs and rivals in Waterdeep. He seems to have a penchant for kind of appearing in his establishment here. But he always appears. He seems to know everybody by name, and he seems to look as though he's always just had a bite of food. He is a portly man, and he's perpetually kind of like dabbing his mouth. Like, he either just ate or he has consumption, you know what I mean? It is kind of a medieval, maybe it's...
Have to be one or the other, Matt.
Maybe it's a disease. Not necessarily. Maybe he's got OCD, maybe it's like a tick. I mean,
There you go.
nobody's asked. You want to roll insight, Ben? See if it's a tick or consumption?
Yes, please.
All right, man. Give me an insight check. What's your plus to that?
I got a 9 plus 2.
Okay. And in seriousness, what are you checking? Are you checking to see why he's always dabbing his mouth with the handkerchief?
Actually, I would like to find out if I think he's on to me.
All right. He's been a little Okay, so you got a 12, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry,
11.
11.
Okay. That's not a great roll, so you're not 100% sure. You think that Abner is aware, generally has his thumb on the pulse of his own establishment, but the fact that you are the same height as his employees and you are like a page boy puts you a little beneath his notice. So you'd say your odds are 50-50 with that kind of roll.
Okay.
All right.
So
So,
I'm going to look at this dude on the floor and see if I can help him or if he is, in fact, all dead.
well, so you're out of your chair and you're over there. Before you can really do anything, Abner spins around and he says, Mona. Now, I'd like to remind you, the Southern Belle lady sitting next to Calf did scream when he came in. She leaps up, being Mona.
Okay.
She leaps up to go inspect the things, but before she leaves, she reaches over and she puts her hand on your shoulder, Calf, to, like, bring you with her.
Oh. Real quick, can I see what the Dragonborn is doing?
You can. You want to just look generally, or do you want to, like, you know, do an investigation, like really look?
Just look generally.
He looks like he's packing up.
He's packing up, so he's not really concerned about this thing that's happening.
You don't know if this is why he's packing up, but you notice that, like, his servants, he does have servants with him. He's got a couple page boys, and you notice that they've come over and they're starting to, like, get his gear and stuff up and ready. Like, he's got a couple, like, weapons that, like, have to be stored and things, you know. He's mostly in armor. He's not wearing a helmet, but he did come mostly in armor. And they're there kind of like it looks like he's getting ready to leave.
Like, leave the establishment? Or, I guess, just leave the table, probably.
Why don't you give me a roll?
Okay, what am I rolling?
D20 is going to be investigation, so you're going to add your investigation bonus.
So I go to the journal, and my person, character sheet, investigation. And it rolls. I got an 11.
Okay. And you know what your plus to that is?
I think that's the whole thing, because I did it from the sheet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. Yeah, that's not a great, I mean, it's an okay roll. It's not a terrible roll. He definitely is done gambling.
He's done gambling for the night.
Like they're pulling up everything that he would keep on this floor. Now, whether they're going to move it upstairs to a bedroom or downstairs to go outside, that you're just not 100% sure on. But he's definitely, he's not going to have to go to the bathroom and come back. You got that much.
So he's got armor on.
Yeah, he's been playing in armor, and that could just be because he's a vain dragonborn and he's, like, showing off his station, or, you know, you don't. It could be because it's supposed to be an unsafe night. Like, you don't know him, so.
Okay. What is the bard doing? The one that I was talking with?
Oh, the bard is all over this. He's already halfway down the stairs to, like, go check on this guy and make, like, a big scene and, like, you know, be helpful and seen and noticed.
So that he can write a heroic tale about it later, I'm sure.
Undoubtedly, yes.
My character doesn't want to get pulled into this thing with this lady, even though she's cool. She probably wants to stay on this dragonborn, so...
Okay.
And I guess asking him about his armor when there's, like, a dead guy in the room would be a little bit wacky. So maybe I'll go over to him and say, please, you've got to help this guy. You look like, you know, something like... You look like you could help.
Now, the dragonborn, remind you, is at a different table than you. So you stand up. Her hand is still on your shoulder. You stand up, but as you start to walk away from her, she's got those long painted fingernails, you know, that look like they're not for any kind of utility. But as you start to try to walk away from her, they tighten.
Okay.
And you feel a little bit of that. It's like, have you ever like made your grandma mad and she like squeezes your shoulder a little too hard? And it's like,
Yeah.
boy, grandma, I didn't know you knew where pressure points were.
Can I tell this what was her name again?
Mona. Mona.
My character says to Mona, hang on, let me get some help.
Uh-huh. She leans over real close to you. She's still got that totally vacant, helpless look on her face. But she leans up real close to you, and in a voice that only you can hear, she says, I know where you got that dress, sugar.
Oh, no.
And then,
Seems like a good time to interject and be like, let's...
please.
So Yinmu, I'm also gonna run down towards the stairs to check on this guy.
Okay.
Someone has to check on this guy.
Yin Wo is right behind you, by the way. In fact, he might be in front of you. He's also making a big show of like being a hero and like leaping into action. Sorry, go ahead.
So yeah, I'm getting down there. I guess the first thing I'll try to do is feed him a good berry.
Okay. You run up. Abner's the closest, and but Abner's not looking at the body. He's turned and he's trying to get Mona to come down. So there's also, this is all happening in a matter of seconds, by the way, to be clear. There's still a lot of like people are still leaping out of their seats and stuff. There are a couple of other people that are like getting close, but they're only like servants. There's not like a doctor nearby yet. Unless you count Thistle, I guess, for being a paladin. So you run up now. Do you want to go straight to stuffing a good berry down this man's mouth, or do you want to like take a pulse or something first to see if he's dead?
Just give him a good berry. I mean,
all right, can't hurt, right?
He's fine. If he doesn't need it, he's probably dead.
Irresponsible.
Say what, Ben?
I say, little known fact, shove the good berry up the nose. Well, cure him a lot faster.
All right, so you run up, you dramatically produce a berry, and you stuff it in this man's mouth. Nothing happens. It's still in his mouth, like it's not. There's no swallowing.
Well, I assume he's unconscious. At the
Okay.
very least.
So do you want to like massage his throat, try to like get it down
yeah.
there? Okay. You're gonna make me Google. You're gonna make me Google like, can you make a dead man swallow? You touch his throat and you notice a considerable lack of pulse.
Okay. He's dead.
You proclaim loudly. All right.
Thistle's gonna check his pulse on his wrist, his lower extremities.
Okay. At this point, I do need to cut back to Calf real quick because Mona is trying to run down the stairs with you in tow. Are you fighting her? Or are you going with her?
I'm gonna follow her because she's
Okay.
on to me.
Okay. So you
Is it a technical grapple yet?
only
A shoulder grapple.
only if Calf tries to resist, and then we will do a roll. Yes. But as long as she's going along with it, there's no need to there's no need to bring mechanics into it. As long as she's not fighting back. Let's cut to Clip real fast. Clip, you are upstairs on the third floor. You do hear a commotion. You did hear a scream and a clattering of something hitting the ground, and you do notice that like the couple of like maids and stuff that were up on this floor with you are like rushing downstairs. Are you staying up here with your bread, or what are you doing?
I think I probably consumed it by now.
Okay. So are you moseying down? Or are you staying up? Or are you hiding in a room?
I will probably mosey down, just like, you know, I don't want to go down there and then there'd be the whoosh of people coming back.
Right.
Really. So I will I want to say sneak my way down because I don't really want to sneak, but just like, yeah, mosey my way down.
All right. You head towards the stairs. Why don't you give me a perception roll?
Total.
15. Okay. As you start to, just as you start to go down the steps, you totally catch sight of Slick Smitty coming up.
Who?
Slick Smitty. The guy who was going to teach you how to play the cards. The guy who you were here to help him with the lock boxes.
He's the guy that I mildly snubbed because I didn't really know. Okay.
He's like the floor manager, basically.
Gotcha.
If Abner's a proprietor, which he is, and he's like the floor manager. He sees more of like the day-to-day operation. Abner does a lot more smoozing. I think it's pretty clear to everybody.
Gotcha. I'm gonna be like, what happened down here?
Smitty snaps to see you and says, "What are you doing up here? How come you're not working?"
I got tired of mopping because everybody was in and the floors were already mopped good enough.
He doesn't. He doesn't look super amused. He says, "It's all hands on deck down here," and does a head jerk.
Okay, so you know when you should be in a hurry, but you're not really in a hurry? That kind of like bluffing, I'm hurrying, just hold on.
It's like, basically your manager just told you if you have time to lean, you have time to clean, and you're not feeling it.
Yeah. So I will hurry down the stairs.
All right.
And see what I can do to help.
You totally got that teenage, like, thing going on.
Yeah.
Like, okay, sure, whatever. You're like, Mosey, and he can tell, by the way. He's made his perception roll. He's not amused. All right, now, Thistle, did you say you were about to do something?
Yeah, I did want to check one of the extremities for a pulse.
Okay, like the arm, anything in particular?
And while I'm doing that, I'm going to kind of look over at the gambler that just tried to choke this guy on a berry, and I'll be like, let a healer evaluate the situation.
All right.
I'm going to reach down
Who are you?
for a pulse.
All right, Thistle, give me a perception roll.
I have an 18.
Okay. This guy is clearly dead. He's in a puddle of blood. You did not need a perception roll to figure that out. The perception roll was to see if you noticed the guy that you'd been gambling with has taken the rest of the money that was on the table. And he's sneaking out the door right now. He's gone.
And I'm gonna point and I'm like, that guy just took all the money off that table. Oh, and he's dead.
Yinmu, are you responding to this?
Well, I'm just gonna look at him and just be like, "Is that? Do you normally stop to be like, okay, I think this guy needs help. Like he's got swords and axes in him, but let's stop and make sure. You're clearly a very proficient healer.
It's like, thank you.
Any further wisdom you wish to provide us to help this poor man?"
Well,
This
he's
poor
dead. His
commoner.
troubles are over. Did you not hear about the guy taking the money from off the tables that just left?
No,
Oh,
at
no.
this point, I'm just
All
kinda
eyes are on
looking around.
Jared.
No, Yinmu has dismissed
Oh,
this person. at
you've
this
lost
point, and just
you've
like,
lost interest.
This conversation's over. Yinmu's not listening anymore. So at this point, just kind of looking at the table, more sort of interested in like what happened. Why did this guy wander in here with swords stuck in him?
So Abner clearly seems like he's trying to take charge of the situation, but he's doing so by trying to bring in Mona, since that's who the guy was yelling for. She's now come down the stairs, and she has a large tiefling woman in tow. She seems to have a death grip on her shoulder. Maybe it's her bodyguard. I don't know. When you guys get to about 10 feet away, she finally loosens her death grip and dashes, throws herself on the ground, and says, Jean! Or, I think it's Jean. It's one of her servants, so she doesn't really know them by name. But she feels like she should now that he's dead, you know? So she's, like, trying really hard to, like, remember. She's trying to make her, her history check here to see if she can remember his name. And she's like, oh, Jean, you were my favorite servant. And you see her, a tear in her eye. And she turns around and she says, I have to go now. Loudly. And Abner says, you can't go out. It's the Winter Solstice. And you guys hear murmuring. There's a murmur goes through the crowd. Murmur, 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 murmur.
What is this murmur
what
that
is this
goes?
lady's race? I'm sorry, human?
Yeah, she's human. She's a Southern Belle. She's in her 20s. She's incredibly attractive. I don't think I really mentioned it. But she clearly can afford all the latest cosmetics and things like that. And she's very just like a China doll, you know, not a China doll, like a beauty model. She's photoshopped. Let's put it that way. Yes.
So the Dragonborn, is he still on the balcony and we're on the first floor? Is that what's going on?
Last time you saw him was on the balcony. You want to give me an investigation roll? See if you spot him?
Cool. Oh no, I'm not 7.
Hang on. I'm having... Am I still there?
Yeah, there's some weird hiccup there.
Hang on. I think...
everyone kind of cycles on and off on.
Are we still recording?
Give me 1 second. First, I'm checking to see if I'm still screen sharing. Can you guys still see the map?
No.
Okay.
We see 2 of you.
All right.
2 of you.
That means I stopped screen sharing. Hang on. Let me fix that first.
No worries.
All right. Is that better?
2 thumbs up.
Okay. Now, let me check the recording. Yeah, we're still recording.
Yay.
Okay. Okay, so...
Saw you sneak my food.
I'm sorry, what we're doing. Calf, what did you roll?
I rolled a 7. It was so sad.
You do not spot the Dragonborn. He must be gone. You don't see him anywhere in this crowd.
How feasible would it be for me to, in the confusion, duck away from Mona?
You can, as they say, you're certainly welcome to try.
I'm going to try to do that because I really don't want to lose this Dragonborn. I'm worried that if I lose him, I'm not going to be able to find him for the rest of the night.
All right. Why don't you give me a stealth roll?
Stealth. Okay. Oh, this doesn't look good. 14?
14.
Is that
Okay. It's not the worst.
good?
Generally, 10 and under is always bad. Between 10 and 15 is like decent, and then over 15 is good. So, just to give you a rough idea.
Probably not super stealthy, but she's willing to, at this point, she's probably willing to use her muscle to try and, she'll probably try to grapple Mona to get away from her at this point.
Well, Mona's let go of you.
Mona's already let go, yeah.
Mona's let go of you, and she's crouching down. At this point, just to let you guys know what's going on. At this point, Abner is almost trying to talk her out of leaving. He's like, whatever it is, darling, you can just go check it out tomorrow. And she's like, no, land sakes alive. I have to get out of here now. And he's like, Mona, you can't go out tonight. You need an escort or something. And she turns around. You've successfully just snuck away into the crowd. And about 2 seconds after you've snuck away, you've blended behind a couple people, she rolls around and she says, that's all right. My friend Calf will accompany me.
I know.
The people who you've hidden behind are starting to like part. What do you want to do?
I'm going to run for it.
All right. All right, so we've dropped stealth, and you're just like flat out making a dash.
I'm just going, and then I'm trying to go up to this balcony and find this Dragonborn. My goal is to try and I'm wearing a froofy dress. I don't know how well it's gonna work. If all else fails, I'll pull out my axe, but I'm still trying to do the, want to try and go to this Dragonborn and be like, help me, this woman's trying to harass me.
Okay, so here's your problem.
Okay.
I'd like you to turn your eyes to the map. Now, the door to the High Rollers entrance is right next to the entrance to the establishment. So, if you would like to return to the balcony the way you came, you're going to basically have to step over the dead guy.
Oh, jeez.
You can go, there's other ways to go. You can go like up the top floor and then try to figure out some way back to the balcony. You could try to like climb up to the balcony with like your muscle. I just want to give you like the mental image here and find out exactly what you want to do.
Okay, so I'm on the first floor. No, yes. On the first floor?
Yeah. Now, let me adjust the map here real quick because I want you to be able to see. The balcony cuts over... Hang on.
Oh, I'm totally going to try to climb up the balcony. That's definitely going to happen.
Okay, well, let me show you where it hangs
in the
down.
middle of the floor, everyone's staring at you, and you just jump for it. I feel like it looks like a Calf feels differently about going outside.
So, You can see it cuts over those middle tables. There is where it's hanging down.
Okay, I see it.
Now,
I see it.
so I mean, you do you. Probably the easiest way if you're in a rush would be to like jump on top of a table and then leap up and grab the balcony.
Yes,
It's.
that's what I'd like to do.
Are you trying to do it stealthily?
And are you gonna?
No.
Okay, that's good.
And in a dress, so unladylike.
Well, there's just better act to worry about.
All right, so just to set the scene here, Mona has dramatically said loudly to a crowd full of people who are watching her, "My friend Kath will accompany me," and everyone hurries to see this large thief, like I'm picturing like Gal Gadot, okay, like Wonder Woman, leap onto a table. Why don't you give me an athletics roll?
Okay. Athletics. Oh, I got a 20.
Okay, no problem at all. You jump up, grab the bars of the balcony, flip over them, and dramatically land.
Superhero like.
People clap. A couple people hold up tins.
Thank you. So is the Dragonborn up here?
Mona turns like triumphantly to Abner, like her point has just been proven, and says, "See, I'll be perfectly safe." Points to you.
Okay, but is the Dragonborn up here?
He is going down the stairs to the first floor as you leap up.
Okay.
But it's not hard to spot because he's got like three squires with him.
3 squires?
Yeah, he's got 3 squires. They're carrying like his weapons and his shield and stuff. And like he's got 3 servants basically with him. So it's not like he's being stealthy about it. Like you can easily see him and his entourage going downstairs. All the gamblers here have entourages with them. In case I didn't make that clear.
Okay, so how
All the gamblers that matter have entourages. There's some other people here, but
The high rollers who were invited.
Right. So I know I'm still a level 1. How difficult would it be for me to just do the cool barbarian? I'm just gonna. How hard would it be for me to just go for this guy's head? Pull the axe out of the dress, whack.
Okay. I'd like to remind you again that everybody's watching you. And he has 3 square boys trailing him, so they are like in front of him for you.
Okay.
But if you would like to do that, we can make this happen. I can I can adjudicate anything that you would like to do in this game of Dungeons and Dragons.
suggestion would be to make perhaps some sort of roll to gauge the difference in strength here. Because if he's only level 1, you could probably take him. Getting away might be a different thing. On the other hand, if he is level 5, he will sneeze on you and you'll fall for a die.
Plus he has 3. I mean, the squires aren't in great shape. You know, they're interns basically. But you are outnumbered. Just to throw that out there.
Okay.
So, and it's very public. But again, you just tell me if you want to do it. We can roll initiative right now. I got a D20 here, so you tell me.
Character killed at the very beginning of the game would be kind of lame.
But it'd be
That sounds kind of awesome.
it'd be memorable.
I have to make a new one, but
I came up with the whole design for this one, no.
Maybe the other players will join in and help you. Maybe the cat will just be like, I haven't done much, but I feel like I need to help that tiefling lady.
Okay, so everybody's focused.
It could happen.
We've got a dead guy in the hall, in the doorway, and I've just shown this great feat of strength, and Mona's trying to spin it to continue to pull me in.
Yeah, she is.
With this entourage, it might not be a good idea. Could I still try and ask for this guy's help? I know he's probably trying to get going and go to his room, but I just want to keep him in the room, in the action.
We're talking about the Dragonborn?
Yes.
Okay, what do you want to say to him? He's walking. He's just started to walk down the stairs. He's like 2 stairs down.
Okay, I'm gonna be like, "Sir, come help us."
He does look though, and he hears somebody thump under the balcony. It does get his attention.
So if you didn't see me do the flip, I will just "Sir, come help us. Someone's hurt."
He looks at you, and he gives you kind of a... Why don't you give me a... He gives you a look of disdain. Nah, I'm not going to make you roll a history check. If you know anything about Dragonborns... okay. How do you feel about, say, snakes? Would you say you guys, as a species, would you guys say that snakes and humans are, like, on the same level? Or would you say snakes are, like, down here?
Are we talking in the game, or are we just talking about...
Just you personally.
Personally, snakes obviously are not the same as humans, but they're very cute. I like them.
Well, that's kind of how he feels about you, except maybe not the cute part. He thinks that Dragonborns are here, and that humanoids that are not dragon-like are not.
Okay, fair enough. Okay,
So
he doesn't care.
He just kind of snorts, and then he continues down the stairs.
Okay, so just because there's so many people looking at me, and we're not in a situation where it's just confusion anymore. They clearly would draw a lot of attention. I guess I'm gonna go back downstairs. Well, I mean, I guess I could climb back down the balcony, and go see what's up with Mona.
Okay, so are you leaping? Are you leaping back down? Is that what you're doing? Are you taking the stairs back down?
That'd be dangerous, potentially. But
Mona says, "Calf, thank you so much for grabbing my purse."
I go grab her purse.
You pick it up. Most people have left the balcony at this point, by the way. Like it's pretty barren up here. The only person still up here is, I don't know if you remember, but the short man that you were seated by, who was reading the entire time. He's still there, and he's kind of like put down his book for a minute to like pay attention. And he's like, No, this would never sell a Neverwinter. And he goes back.
Okay, so Kath goes, it looks like I could go down the stairs, and then I guess I'll have to step over the dead guy to get back to Mona, but I am going to go that direction.
Okay. You do so. People are coming out of the High Roller's entrance to kind of help and stuff. There's currently an argument between the halflings over whether or not it's okay to move a dead body, like kind of scooch him out of the way. Mm-hmm. And they're trying to enlist like Yinmu and Thistle because they look like maybe they know what they're doing. And it's like, is it cool if we move a dead guy? Like, there's some arguments. One of the halflings is like, is there a necromancer in the house anywhere?
I'm gonna pick this guy up and put him on a table.
Okay.
Lay him out.
All right.
And I would like to be, after I've done that, I would like to do an investigation to see what I can find out about his attackers.
Okay.
Or attacker, I guess.
Yeah. Why don't you give me a investigation roll?
While he's doing that, I'm assuming I've made it downstairs.
You have.
Full of blood, and like I'm frustrated because the floor was just moss. So in a bit of contempt, I go over and grab the mop and start cleaning up what is left of the puddle.
All right. So the body has been moved. You're mopping up. Calf, I will tell you this. I won't make you roll for it. You do see the Dragonborn leaving out the front door. Now that you're back down, Mona's come over to take her purse from you, and she's put her arm around you, and she's sobbing uncontrollably, and like there's snot like coming out, and like it's, you know, she's
making her makeup run.
It's like Abner goes to hand her his hanky, but then how would he dab his mouth? So then like he snaps, and one of the halflings produces a clean hanky. And so now she's got a hanky, and she's dabbing. Her mascara's running, you know.
Oh jeez.
But it's like medieval mascara, so it's like pig fat, you know, with clay in it, and she's dabbing.
Okay, so I'm. Give me some background about how mad would my boss be if I don't fulfill this mission? Because it seems like this guy's getting away.
Are you familiar with the word insubordination?
Yes.
Then you tell me.
Okay.
So Yin Mu will come over.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, what could possibly be so important that you need to go outside during solstice night?
Now, as you ask her that, I'm sorry, we'll get back to Thistle real fast. What was that dice roll?
15 on the investigation.
All right. So you're looking over these weapons, and the main thing that leaps out to you is, I said swords and axes because that's what it looked like from a distance, but you think these might be peasants' weapons. Like, you don't think this was like... this was not like one high-paid assassin.
So these aren't like battle axes. These are like hatchets and...
Exactly.
Okay.
Hatchets, daggers, like machetes that are actually used for like harvesting wheat kind of stuff. Like these are like
a
peasants.
scythe?
Yeah.
Okay. I am going to keep that little fact to myself just for a minute.
Okay.
But being a paladin, I am going to go ahead and I'm going to take a couple of the chips that I swiped from the table and place them on his eyes and
Okay.
say a nice paladin prayer. And I'm just going to I'm going to look over at, what's her name? Bonnie? Betty?
Who is this? Mona.
Mona. I don't know where I got that from. I'm going to ask Mona if she knows what deity he worshipped.
Okay. So as you start to perform last rites, Mannerford, I don't think we mentioned him in the recap, but there is a magician here who refers to himself as Mannerford the Malevolent. He has a huge mustache that he likes to twist. He considers himself very evil. But as I suggested, he's only the evilest wizard they can afford for the casino. He comes over and he attempts to help you administer last rites. Now, he's a wizard, not a cleric. But just, he kind of like lights a little incense and stuff to like... basically, you're performing religious ceremonies in the person's behalf, and he's performing the kind of ceremonies you perform to make sure your place isn't haunted because somebody died there. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Like the more arcane side of things.
Yeah.
But he is assisting you.
I'm really not interested in what he's doing. I just kind of...
That's usually how it works between the cleric and the wizard.
Yeah.
It's not really collaboration as like a tolerance of each other.
But I'm going to place the chips on his eyes since I don't have coins at the moment.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna ask Mona if she knows what deity he professed.
Mona, I'll tell you real quick. Mona has no idea.
I figured as much. So I'm
back
just
to
gonna
you.
say
Yeah.
a generic prayer.
Back to Yin Mu. So you were asking what now? You're asking her, why is it so important to go out?
Yeah.
She's dabbing her eyes and she says, the manor. I have to make sure the manor's okay.
So was this man one of your house guards, or?
She nods. She's like, he would never leave his post. He'd never desert the manor unless it was under attack. She says,
that sounds pretty dire.
I forgot the southern accent. She says, land sakes alive, I do believe. The peasants may be revolting. And then she blows into her hanky. And it like, the bottom of it vibrates like a cartoon, you know.
Well, it is solstice night.
She says, that's just all the more reason to make sure that something's not terrible isn't happening. She says, on a cursed night like tonight, I should have never, I blame myself, I should have never left the manor. And then she starts to sob again. She says, what about Donald? Ah!
All this is going on. Thistle's kind of taken a tablecloth off one of the other tables and sort of laid it over him.
Okay. You guys, Yin Mu, you're closest to Abner. You can see that Abner is quickly trying to regain control of the situation. He would like the gambling night to continue if possible and for this not to be a wash. And so he started looking around for a way to like fix this situation. And he was like, clearly what we need here is a team of adventurers to escort this young lady through the dangerous streets. And before he can say another word, Yin Wu says, I volunteer. And Emmett next to him says, Yin Mu, you're winning. My nephew, I volunteer my nephew. And he puts his hand on your shoulder.
Well, that's fair enough, Yin. Well,
People clap. Abner says, any other volunteers?
Kathy.
I'll get out of here.
This again because if she goes outside, that's where the Dragonborn is. So she is ready to roll.
Yeah, it does occur to you it might be easier to sneak away if you're, with this adventuring party. So you volunteer.
I
Yes?
would like to do a quick Arcana check
Okay.
and see if there's anything demonic or magic about this guy's demise, or if it does seem to be just purely physical.
Okay. Hit me.
Not a great one. Let's see, it's 9.
Okay. I can tell you right, even from that, you really not sensing anything magical unless it's really deeply hidden. But
Okay.
considering that he's got 6 weapons in him,
All right.
I will give you, though, that piecing together, you heard her say something about the peasants revolting, and that does add up with the implements that he has embedded in his body.
That's what I
They
figured.
could be tieflings. Maybe they're tiefling peasants.
Whoa! Racist, man! Just assume it's the demon people. That's... Jared, I don't even know you anymore. Like, why does it always have to be demons? Somebody gets murdered, you just automatically point the finger at the demons. It's typical, man.
Thistle's going to see this as a potential inroad into local society, so he's going to volunteer to go along
Okay.
in the guise of maybe he can do some healing.
Okay. All right.
Also, at this point, Cap loses the fancy dress.
She loses what?
She loses the fancy dress. She's not interested in it anymore.
Just
Describe that to me, please. Are you, like, slowly undressing, or are you just like, rawr?
She,
Hulk flex.
Yeah.
yeah, that one.
All right.
She rips it off. She's kind of pissed at Mona. She doesn't care if Mona's dress gets ruined, and she's not very gentle about it.
All right.
You should hand it back to her when you're done.
She's gonna throw it on the floor, potentially in the puddle of blood. She's really just.
Mona is interpreting this as another show of strength to impress her at what a great bodyguard you're going to be. And the crowd, Abner has now successfully parlayed this into like an exciting event for everyone else's enjoyment,
And he's probably taking bets on it, too.
which was completely yes. Smitty's taking the bets. Abner's a little bit more of a showman than an actual gambler you're starting to get. And he's totally parlayed this into, like, he's got everybody, like, clapping and cheering. And, like, 3 Strings is already composing a ballad in your guys' honor. And he's totally got everybody, like, they're so excited to see you leave. And you guys are getting pats on the back. And, like, people are giving little, like, incense things to protect you. They're, like, tossing them at you.
Throwing flower petals.
Yeah, exactly.
Yinmu's retainers are helping them into their armor and bringing them their batons.
Okay, do you have armor? Do you have like a light armor or?
Yeah, I have leather armor.
Okay.
I mean, it's probably a little more fancy than function, honestly. But hey, it's still better than
no armor.
No.
All right.
Nothing.
So they're suiting you up. Are they coming with you, or are you leaving them here, or what are your instructions to them?
No, they'll wait here.
Okay.
I'm not gonna bring them out. I know they're not.
You do have one that's kind of like a bodyguard, right? I don't have it listed in front of me.
Probably. I mean,
he kind of leaps up. He's like,
don't have-
I think he's more of a ceremonial bodyguard, but he's like, Master, I must put my life before yours. Like dramatically. Maybe he's hoping you'll say no, but he still has to say it to like save face.
No, it's like no, it's all right. You stay here with Yinhuo.
You put your hand on his shoulder, and he's got a combination of like disappointment and relief. Your uncle puts his arm around him. He says, "Oh, I'll take good care of this one." All right. Anything else? Clip, are you grabbing some bread for the road?
No, but I do have to go home and grab my gear.
Do you say that?
To work. Yeah. I'm like, I'm ready to go, but I gotta make a pit stop real quick.
Okay, I'm going to throw you a bone on that. Considering that you're a rogue, I just kind of assume that you keep things like a dagger on you at all times, concealed somewhere.
I mean, I have a couple things, but I don't have like my full set of gear. Like the backpack, the work. Like when I'm leaving here, I'm out of water deep.
Okay, well, you guys are about to venture into some very dangerous streets, into a world of excitement. So, you know what? You play it however you want. If you want to split the party, you split the party. You do you.
I think
won't
Cat
split the
is
Just remember what happened last time we split the party. Don't follow any other cats.
I am a cat.
That was a different
You be the
game.
one who knocks this time.
I think Kath does not want to make any side quests and does not want any more delays, and so she's probably going to put an arm around Clip and say, "We're going."
Okay.
All right, Mona seems in a hurry to leave.
I'm personally,
how
so I don't want
easily
to
I
split
do-
the party.
Hmm?
Sorry. Sorry, I was like, I don't want to split the party.
Thistle, you were saying?
How easy is it going to be for Thistle to identify her as a rogue?
Give me a insight.
Okay, woo! First natural 20 of the night.
All right, this woman is a thief. This young lady who wears a lot of extra layers and has a lot of her face concealed. Yeah, you entrust her as far as you could throw her, and she's pretty light.
Pretty,
All
like,
right.
really, really light.
I'm going to throw one of my daggers in front of her and I'll be like, there, you're equipped. Let's go.
Eclipsed.
Yinmu, why don't you give me a perception roll?
Okay. I rolled a 3, which means I only got an 8.
It's probably nothing.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so you guys ready to venture? You guys ready to venture out the front door?
Yeah, as they're doing that, Thistle winks at the tabaxi and says, don't die, I want that back.
Well, the thing is there's all this extra clothing.
You don't know she's a
that way you
tabaxi per
can't tell
se,
that she's a tabaxi.
Okay.
unless you want to roll for that too. But
Well-
that's hence the extra layers.
Well, not necessarily knowing that she's a tabaxi, but I still do the wink and say, don't die, I want that back.
All right.
Okay.
So you guys venture out the front doors here. As I mentioned before, is the can you guys see the map?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Can you see my cursor here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So on the corner of Talashambra's Way and the Way of the Dragon here is where the casino is set up. It's kind of at a specific point because it's at the meeting of three wards. It's at the meeting of the Dock Ward, the South Ward, and the Trade Ward. Waterdeep is laid out. It's kind of like New York where they have the boroughs. You know, it's all one big city, but it's also like 5 little cities. It's kind of how Waterdeep is. And the different boroughs, the different wards here kind of represent like different classes. You know, you got the Dock Ward is kind of the CD where, you know, the sailors and stuff hang out. I probably wouldn't go there at night, even on a good day, even when it's not a cursed night where the dead walk.
What? Cursed night when the dead walk? What? No.
The solstice.
Did I not make this clear that the winter solstice is a dangerous? Do I need to start over? Should I go back to like the first page of notes here? All right, the winter solstice, even in our world, is considered to be a dangerous and superstitious night where the dead rise from their graves. I know I said that last week. All right, and I assume one of you says to Mona, "So where is your manor exactly?" And she says, "Oh, in the North Ward."
Past the city
Of
of the dead?
course. Of course it would be.
She says, "Oh, you mean that big park area we pass in my carriage? I think so." So
I
you
know-
guys, having been in Waterdeep, I'm sure at least one of you, I'm just going to consider this common knowledge. I won't make anybody roll, that this is going to be, like a 3-hour walk. I'm sorry, somebody was saying something?
I was just gonna say, can I see kind of a one-note character, but Kath would like to see if she can spot the Dragonborn at this point.
Sure.
We're outside now.
Let me jump real quick. And Clip, were you going to say something before I forget?
No, I was just saying I would know, like, Waterdeep a little bit better than probably some of the other people here who are just
Visiting?
touring.
And that's
Yeah.
totally, that's good to know. Okay. Remind me of that when you make your rolls, and I'll slip you a little extra points. All right. Why don't you give me a perception check and see if you can spot the Dragonborn, calf.
Perception.
Hmm?
Oh no. I got a 7.
All right. You don't see him anywhere in the immediate area, so you're not sure which direction he would have went in.
How is the lighting out here?
Oh, I'm glad you asked. I mentioned it last game, but that was like 2 weeks ago. The moon is not visible. There's a lot of clouds in the sky, and there's a little bit of fog. Not fog like you can't see in front of you, but like... All right, I'm not even going to pretend. You know when you watch a horror movie, and they've got like the smoke machine, so like about 3 feet off the ground, there's mist everywhere? But it's not obscuring the actors' faces. It's just like about 3 feet off the ground. It's like that. So it's kind of misty. The visibility's not terrific, is what I'm trying to tell you. It's definitely, there's no moon in the sky. You don't know, by the way, unless you want to make me a roll to see, like, if you read the almanac, you don't know if, like, the moon's actually not out tonight or if it's just hidden behind the clouds. But it's not visible. There's no stars visible. It's dark.
So for convenience's sake, we'll say when I snap my fingers, it's just an owl that shows up.
Okay. All right. An owl.
What is that?
What kind of owl? It's like a big owl or a little owl is what I really want to know. Is it like the size of your head, like a barn owl?
Research on that.
Or is it like a snow owl that's like a little bitty? Just pick your
Owlet.
favorite owl from Harry Potter. Is it Hedwig or is it Errol? And then I'll tell you which species that is. Okay, while Jared researches owls for a few minutes,
Yeah.
does anybody else have anything they would like to do?
Yeah, I want to do a perception check once we're outside.
Okay.
Me too.
Are you guys looking for anything in particular, or are you just getting your bearings?
Bearings.
Okay. Thistle, same.
I am looking for anyone that may have pursued him here.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Clip, give me yours first, since yours is more general.
7.
Okay. Yeah, everything seems fine. It's really dark, guys. And you don't. I will tell you this because you have those cat ears, kind of twitching.
Mm-hmm.
You hear noises off in the distance, but nothing like immediate. But you do in the far distance. I couldn't tell you which direction with a roll like that, but in the far distance, you can hear the sound of. I mean, if you had to make a wild guess, maybe looting.
Oh yeah, peasant uprising. That's happening.
Well, there's that too. Also, in a totally non-purge way.
The city watch is off duty. People might be taking advantage and risking the horrible.
It is possible.
Holy abominations.
Or just a little irritated that all the high society is indoors having parties, or who knows? Who can say really?
Can I? My character would like to check her folder that has her mission in it. And see if it has. So I know it said that I'm killing a dragonborn. Was there any other information in there about like where he lives or?
Well, are you pulling that out discreetly, or are you just like whipping it out in front of everybody?
I'm gonna be discreet about it.
All right.
These guys don't need to know my business.
All right. I won't make you roll for it unless somebody else says they're specifically watching you.
Well, I'm just like, well, is anyone going to light a torch?
My perception check was 11, by the way.
All right, 11. And you were looking to.
I was looking for people that may have pursued the guy that just died.
All right. No, you're not getting any vibe for that. Again, not the world's best roll, not a terrible roll. So there's nothing obvious.
Okay.
That's it. So that's an interesting question. Are Mona and I the only ones that don't have dark vision?
Oh, I think I have dark vision.
I have dark vision too.
I don't know about gnomes.
I can tell you here. Hold on. I don't know that one off the top of my head.
Because it'll be awkward because we'll be like, why are our servants not lighting torches?
Yeah.
He does. I'll be darned. He does have dark vision.
There you go.
Hey.
Okay, so we're
Yeah.
Mona and I guess we're just kind of just looking around, being like, why is it so dark?
Well-
why is the help? Why is it so hard to get good help?
That's about 4 or 5 down on Mona's list. Number 1 for her is that she's about to take a 3-hour walk in heels. She's never had to walk more than like 5 minutes at a time in her entire life, probably. You're guessing. So,
Would there be a horse in the nearby stables?
Yeah.
all right, you guys want to check?
I will check.
All right. I will tell you that there are definitely stables here.
Yay! Stables!
I remember there was a map of
Yeah.
the stables.
I'm pulling that up. Can you guys see it? It's here behind the casino. Now, just to clarify, so you say to everybody else, "Hey, let's go steal a horse." Is that what you're saying?
I'm not saying let's steal
Okay.
it. I'm just saying let's go see if there are horses.
Let's make some new friends of the equine variety.
Yes.
So
Is Abner still out and about?
He is inside. You guys can hear the sounds of the crowd inside the bar, like calming down, going back to their games. Someone started performing on stage now, which hadn't happened while you guys were in there. Abner's clearly pulling out all the stops to like smooth over. Like, he does not want people to go home remembering, oh, hey, I saw a murdered man tonight. That is not what he wants people at the top of people's minds. And so he's totally like 100% committed to smoothing this over, making a pleasant experience for all.
So, of the three other people here, not including Mona, who is the least scruffy looking?
Clip is kind of built to be inconspicuous. She's got a lot of like layers, but she's also like a lithe build.
Yeah, I'm about 90 pounds and 5 foot.
And then the gnome, just because he's low to the ground in general, I mean, he's an older fella, so he could probably blend in and not be super obvious. But he's not necessarily as dexterous, wearing armor and stuff. Does that answer your question?
I guess so. So I was checking my character sheet again. Like, I do have an explorer's pack, but so I assume that my retainers pass it off to me. But like, I'm not going to carry that, so I'll hand that to Calf, I guess.
No, I'm not taking that. No way.
I think you should hand it to the thief. I'm sure she'd be happy to carry it for you.
I'm just like,
Depending on how heavy it is.
Okay, so I'm sorry. Role play this out. So you hand it to Calf, and Calf, you say,
Calf,
no, I'm just handing it out. Like, are you supposed to say anything? Like, just,
right.
Cap she wouldn't even say anything. She'd just take a step backward and look at it like, what?
It's a pack. There's torches in there.
I got
That's
it.
great. That's great that you
Okay.
have that. Good for you, man.
So,
Well,
is it one of those packs you actually
obviously,
have to carry, or is it like a backpack where you can like?
Yeah, it's a backpack.
Okay.
You can-
How
Thistle
heavy is
shakes
it?
his head and reaches out and grabs the pack, and he's like, I don't know about you guys, but I really don't want to be out in this any longer than I absolutely have to. And so I pull out the torch, and I use my tinderbox to start it on fire. And
Okay.
I start walking down
It
the
is
street.
59 pounds.
I can do that.
All right.
Well, it's good to see
I'm
someone's
not
counting.
carrying the pack, by the way. I dropped the pack. I just took the torch.
No, the pack is mine.
Okay.
He can have the torch. I'm okay with that.
All right.
So I guess I'll wander over to Mona and just like, the quality of help is a little less to be desired.
Well, she doesn't disagree, but the second Thistle starts to take charge and shows that he's ready to actually walk and get this on the move, she switches to him. She lets go of Calf, and she grabs onto your shoulder, Thistle, even though you're like half her height. She grabs onto your shoulder and starts like fawning over you and like is ready for you to be her protector and get the show on the road.
Were we not checking to see if there were
I'm
horses?
not coddling her at all. I'm just moving forward because I want to be out of this as quick as possible.
I would agree. I'm sorry. What did you say, Clip?
Were we checking to see if there were horses or not?
No one really responded when you asked about it.
Okay, then I'm gonna go check and see if there's horse.
All right, so just to clarify, Thistle and Mona have started down the street in a northerly direction, I assume.
No, I'm starting towards the stable.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I wasn't
Okay.
clear.
No, that's okay. You said down the street, so I misunderstood. Okay. So it sounds like you guys are all going to the stables then?
I'm following the light.
All right.
I'm not gonna be wandering around in the dark.
That makes sense to me. You're Yinmu, you are a little annoyed. You probably should have brought your retainer that holds up the hem of your dress so it doesn't get soiled.
Yeah.
Because you're a little worried it's going to get dragged through the mud here a little bit. But so you guys walk around. Sorry, go ahead. Oh, okay.
No, I mean that's what prestidigitation is for.
That's
I
true.
mean, cleaning my dress myself is a little bit much, but sacrifices must be made for the greater good. So.
As we're walking, Thistle's going to ask Mona if she by chance brought her own horse.
Mona tells you that she was dropped off by her servants. Yinmu, why don't you give me that perception roll again? See if you picked up on it yet. Is Jared holding really still again, or did I lose him?
I was trying to research something real quick. What's the
I
question
said,
again?
why don't you give me that perception roll again and see if you notice anything?
Oh, okay.
She just told Thistle that
Let's
she was
see.
dropped off by her servants.
Okay, 18.
It does strike you slightly odd that you kind of mentioned it before, which is why I'm giving you the roll. It does strike you slightly odd that she seems to be the only one here without an entourage. I mean, you don't know if it's a red flag because, she was expecting to stay all night, so it sort of makes sense that she'd have somebody drop her off, but it just, for someone who seems used to having servants like yourself, it has not escaped your notice that she doesn't seem to have anybody here to light her torch, so to speak.
Yeah.
So, all right, I'm sorry, Thistle, you were saying you're checking the stables?
That's where we're headed.
Okay. All right, so you guys walk in the stables. It smells bad. It's full of horses, flies. It's a stables. I thought about drawing in the stalls on the map, and then I was like, why? Just use your imagination, guys.
Good call.
There's
Are
a
there
lot of
any
horses.
of the halfling staff present?
Yes, there is. There's a couple shoveling, and there's a couple that are grooming the horses. There's also a couple servants out here that are part of various people's entourages that are out here either grooming horses or just having a smoke break.
I'm going to wander over to one of them and
A couple of halflings playing cards in a corner.
see if I can convince them to let us borrow a horse or two
Okay, now
for the night that won't be missed.
are you talking to one of the halflings or are you talking to one of the servants associated with a horse?
Are there other servants there?
Yeah, there's some halflings, and then there's sorry, maybe I didn't make that clear. There are a few servants that look like they're part of entourages that are either out here taking care of horses or else they're just having a smoke break to be away from the crowd.
Okay. No, I want to talk to the people that actually look like they're in charge of the stables.
Okay, so you glance around and you see a halfling that looks like he might be, if not the stable master, then probably the stable master's intern.
And I'm going to slide the last 2 chips that I swiped from the table over to him. And I'm going to ask him, is there by chance a horse or two that won't be missed this evening if we get him back to you before dawn?
He guffaws, and you realize that you know him.
I look at him. Do I need to do a history check on that?
No, he says, he laughs, he says, by Merlin's beard, Merlin's beard, you can tell I've been watching Harry Potter. What would a gnome swear to? By the great gnome maker's beard. Thistle, you haven't changed today.
He's like, do I know his name?
You do. His name is, Clipto.
Clipto?
Not like a klepto, like a clipped toe. Like his toes.
And I'm going to kind of step back and look at him, and I'll be like, give his big smile, be like, why Clipto, is that you?
He laughs.
It's been a while, my friend.
He pats you on the back. He's like, up to your old tricks, huh?
He's like, well, to be honest, I am actually a paladin now. That's a long story.
He laughs at this. He says, I didn't know they made a god of horse thieves.
He's like, yeah. He's like, it's an interesting story. I don't have time for it right now.
He says, well, I'll tell you that officially, I gotta ask you to get the heck out of here. I've never seen you before in my life. Unofficially, and he thumbs at one of the corners of the stables, and he says, that Dragonborn's a jerk. And he thumbs back, and you see one of the stables. It looks like all the horses have been taken out of it except for one, and he's burying the livery of the Dragonborn's god, the sun symbol you saw before.
He's like, I understand completely.
He
And so as I'm starting to walk away, I'm gonna kind of quietly signal him what the other guy's got in his hand, and just smile and kind of casually walk over to the horse.
Yeah,
and kind of point my head towards that horse.
Yeah, he nods and he goes back to feeding hedge apples to the horses. He doesn't seem too perturbed that you're here. You seem to remember that you did him a solid once and got him out of trouble with his wife.
Probably.
And a young gnome who will go unmentioned.
Absolutely.
So he's.
I'm gonna kind of quietly walk over to the group and be like, I think we could probably take this one without anyone noticing before tomorrow.
Mona,
Okay,
by the
so
way, is turning her
there's
nose
one-
up at this stable. She's not happy to be around the flies. In fact, she won't even come in. Sorry, go ahead.
There's one horse, but there's many of us. I just want to say that.
And Thistle's gonna point at Mona's shoes, and then he does like this thing with his hands where it kind of emphasizes the hoity-toity silhouette. I was like, it's gonna take us half as much time if she rides and we walk as it will if all of us walk.
We could probably throw at least one other person up on that horse.
Clip looks at Minyu and it's like,
Ladies.
I don't say
Sorry.
that. Kind of like gesture.
Sorry.
Riding is that still a skill or is that
No.
Animal handling.
that's part of? Okay.
Yeah, I guess it technically.
Animal handling would be the skill.
Yep.
So I am just gonna kind of pick up Mona, stick her on the horse.
Well, wait.
We're going.
Are you guys? She's outside the stables. Are you guys bringing the horse out of the stables to her, or are you bringing her in?
We're bringing the horse out. I
You-
think.
Yeah, bringing the horse.
You bring it out, and she says, "Oh," brightly. She says, "Oh, where's the carriage?"
Okay, I think at that point, Cap would just pick her up and
Okay.
put her on the horse.
And Thistle's gonna smile and wink at her
Uh-huh.
and say, "My lady, we're on an adventure."
That 100% works. She gets real excited and like, "Oh, land sakes alive! I may have the vapors." And you lift, Calf, you lift her up and you put her on the horse, and now she's hiked up her skirt. No, I'm sorry. What am I saying? She's sitting side saddle, of course.
Yeah, she'd be side saddle.
She's side saddle, but she has no clue what she's doing. So I don't know if you guys are gonna give her a rider or if you're gonna just lead the horse. You tell
That's
me.
kind of what I was thinking.
Okay.
Lead the horse.
Or Yinmu, are you getting on?
I'm gonna look up there. I'm gonna how you know what? Maybe I'll have a chat with the horse.
Okay.
What are you gonna say to the horse?
Are you? I assume you're casting animals. Speak with animals. You're not just. Okay.
I mean, I can also do that too.
You tell me. You're a druid, but I don't want to be that guy and assume. You know. Maybe you just talk to horses in general.
And okay, so and just be like, hey, we're going to we're heading out. We could use your help.
The horse says,
How are
"Hey,
you doing? Hey. Yep.
I'm all right. I'm a horse. It's horse eat horse out here."
Yeah, I don't actually know what that's like, but I'll take your word for it.
He says, "Life's a mare."
Oh wow!
Well,
you
you
get
seem to
comments
be-
about that.
You seem to be doing just fine.
He rolls his eyes. He does the horse equivalent. Like, no one else would know what he was doing, but because you're speaking to him, you can read his facial expressions, and it's definitely a horse eye roll.
All right, well, and it's a he,
Yeah.
it's a stallion, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like he seems to be on board with it.
He says, "Whatever."
He is incredibly enthusiastic, more so than a lot of you are.
Most indifferent horse in the whole stable. We got him.
By the way, just to make sure we're clear, no one else can understand this conversation. All you know is that Yin Mu is now like snorting and neighing at this horse. And he has offered no explanation, but he seems confident he knows how the horse feels about this. So you guys can feel about that however you want. It's up to you.
Thistle's been around. It doesn't bother him.
Yeah, I'm thinking a gnome wouldn't, because there's gnomes that can naturally speak to animals, so...
Alright. Cliff probably wouldn't have known that many druids, so would that be an investigation check? Or would that be more of like a history check?
Why don't you give me history?
$13.
Yeah, you've heard of these hippies, these flower childs.
He speaks all sort of weird languages.
Yeah, there was this guy in your tribe that used to like talk to the plants and stuff. No, seriously, weren't you like wasn't there something in your backstory about druids though?
Yeah, my older brother was kind of on the road to be a druid, but
Right.
I actually didn't have a mentor or anything. He was just like,
Oh, gotcha. So, yeah, perfect. So you remember your brother, he was always out there like tweeting at birds, trying to like see if he could learn their language. Everybody thought he was a little weird in the head. And so
He is.
you're kind of like you see Calf looking confused and you're just like, it's, doesn't...
Well, I'm pretty sure Kath has seen weirder things in hell.
Well, that's true.
So she's probably not real concerned about horse guy.
All right. Okay,
Cat's
so
probably more thinking, oh, I wonder if he can talk to puppies.
Horse individual. I guess Yunmu was non-binary, so it would be they.
yeah. Oh, yeah, sorry.
So
I forgot. So
does Yunmu need to be hoisted on the horse as well?
No, I mean, just looking at it, it's like I'm not really interested in sharing a seat.
Sharing
I can walk. I'll be all right.
the horse goes as you guys lead it out.
Okay, so
As soon as we step back out into the street, Thistle's gonna pull his spear/staff to the ready. And
Okay.
I'm going to kind of use it as a cane and kind of do that thing like a blind guy would do to feel ahead a little bit as we start moving forward.
I like it. Okay. And do you have a torch in your other hand still?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So, you guys, I'm going to pull back up the map of Waterdeep here. Excuse me. So, tell me the route that you would like to take. Mona has made it clear that she lives northward. You guys are currently on the Way of the Dragon, which is that big road. I guess what I'm looking for specifically is, are you guys taking the back roads here, like the alleyways, or are you guys taking like the main road?
Thistle's going to be a fan of the main road.
Okay.
More room to maneuver. More chance that we'll encounter people, if there are people out.
Yeah,
Well,
but
that's
that's
a
not a
two-edged
good
sword.
thing. I'd like to point out that's not a good thing on this particular night.
That might be true.
I think Kath would want to take the main road as well, just because same thing. Back roads, there's maybe more people trying to hide, maybe more danger. Even on a night like tonight, I think she would want to take a main road where there's a bit more room and maybe you can see a bit farther ahead. I mean, not very far because it's mystic and foggy, but...
Also, do you honestly see that hot-headed dragonborn taking side streets?
Oh, yeah.
That's-
Yes, that's a good point. Yeah, he's probably going to be on a main road. Or I want to keep an eye out. Yeah, I want to keep an eye out.
Okay. I will say, the only thing I'll tell you guys is the main roads, it's easier to see, but it's also easier to be seen. So that's kind of the two-edged sword you're looking at here. All right.
What do you guys
Yeah.
think? Cliff?
Actually,
Inman?
not that I think about it, it's actually not a. I might take you up on that the horse ride after all. So that way I'll just look through the owl's eyes, so I can actually see a little further.
Oh, did we ever hear what kind of owl you have?
It was
He
like
sent a picture.
yeah, it was like a
It's
barred
weird looking.
owl. Was it like a barred eagle owl or something?
Hang on. I was in the zone here.
Yeah, barred eagle owl.
I think it'd be hilarious if it was like this mange-ridden owl that doesn't really have that many feathers left.
All right. I don't have the link. What's the size roughly? Is what I'm really looking for. Can it comfortably sit on your shoulder? That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
It's not a small owl, but it's not one of the massive ones either.
All right. It's
looks like.
not a vulture or a buzzard or something. Okay. Okay. All right. So, are you sending it ahead? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah. So I will take you up on that. On sharing the horse.
All right, Cap is gonna stick young men on the horse.
Okay. And are you also riding side saddle since you've got the gown?
Yeah. I guess so.
Okay.
If there's room, I don't know. I might have to just borrow a dagger
And
I'll have to regrow the dress later.
are you? Well, there's room if you're hanging off the other side, so I don't see any issue with that.
They do one side saddle and then the other side, and then it's balanced.
Right. My question is, are you in front or is she in front?
I assume I'm more towards the back. I
Okay.
assume I'm towards the back.
All right, put the lady up in front in dangerous way. That sounds heroic to me. As you are lifted.
She did get on the horse first.
That's true.
So that makes sense.
As you're lifted on the horse, you hear the horse go. You guys are now walking down the street. You can hear it grumbling. It's going. There's 2 people. Why not? I mean, what am I doing? I thought I was just gonna be hanging out in the stalls the whole time, talking to the mares, but no. Now I gotta be out in the solstice, walking around. I don't even know who these people are.
And the people, like Clip, doesn't understand a thing other than.
Oh yeah, the only person who's getting this is Yinmu. Can you dismiss the spell? I'm curious. Can you end it early?
Well, it's only 10 minutes long, and honestly, at this point, I don't know if my eyes visibly glaze over anything, but I'm looking through the owl now.
Oh, that's true. So your senses are with the owl. All right. So you've got the owl, and it's flying up in the air, and you're kind of having it scout ahead. And what's its range? How far away can it be from you?
It can go up to 100 feet away, and I can see 120 feet into the dark.
Okay, and so you're going to have it circle basically and see if you guys are walking straight into danger. Is that the idea?
Yeah, pretty much.
All right.
Plus, it's also, it's nice to be able to see myself, so I'm not just being like, yep, there's about 30 feet of torchlight.
Why don't you have the owl make a perception check?
Okay.
Is it Athena?
Different game.
No,
Different game.
Yeah.
Don't bring your past characters into this.
Okay. So perception is only +3, but it does gain advantage.
Okay.
All right, 22.
Okay. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. There's definitely looters and rioters out, and they're kind of all over the place. But specifically to you guys are walking up the way of the dragon. You start out right here at this corner. Can everybody see my cursor?
Yep.
Where the 3 wards meet, and you've now moved up about, let's say, about this far. And do you see up there where it says Virgin Square?
Uh-huh.
Well, actually, I'll just show you. Right about here, there's a little a place where the road kind of zip, zip, zip. And there's a group of looters there that are they're smashing windows with baseball bats or baseball bat equivalents, and hollering, just basically being hooligans.
Well, there are a group of ruffians up ahead.
I think. Oh yeah.
About how far are they?
I
I guess about 120 feet. That's about as far. Maybe a little more than that, because it can.
Yeah.
Owl can scout ahead.
Well, I assumed that, but the owl can see farther than 120 feet, right? I assumed you sent her up a little higher.
Yeah. Well, no, it's 120 dark side, but I guess if they're looters, they have torches, light, and everything too. So.
Well,
I
and
guess
just the general noise and stuff, I assumed to be pretty obvious.
Okay. So yeah, I guess about how far away is it then?
A couple blocks, couple city blocks.
Okay, a couple city blocks up ahead.
Kath would like to fight these people because she's kind of frustrated that she has not seen the Dragonborn and she hasn't wrestled anyone today.
Okay. So, are you charging ahead, or are you just do you say I say we go forward, or?
I would probably want to stay with the group.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna just run off, but as we do approach them, my character would want to engage.
Okay, so
Now, for clarification, Thistle is short enough. Is he actually fully engulfed in the fog right now? Legitimate question. Like, is he actually down in the fog?
can you see me? It's about.
I see a still picture. I'm sorry.
Okay. You're visible from the neck up,
Okay.
So you'd be like a floating head.
Woo!
and shoulders, a little bit of shoulders.
Okay.
So someone might conceivably mistake you for a dead person who's come back to life. It's the solstice.
And the spear, obviously.
Right.
Yeah.
So I could hunker down without too much trouble.
All right. So
Are we going through or are we going around?
I was gonna say no one has responded to Yinmu yet, so you guys might want to talk it out.
Kef says, we go forward.
Thistle says, yeah, I think we best just keep moving forward. Are they? If they're
right.
just looters, I think we could probably scare them off with a little bit of a surprise attack. It's like
But how many people did it look like there was?
Expecting to see demons. Calf, you want to take the lead here?
Oh yeah, absolutely. But also to Jared's question, how I guess there's a bunch of looters. Is this a situation where as soon as we approach, I guess we wouldn't know, but as soon as we approach, they're going to turn on us, or are they busy doing their own thing?
Why don't you have the owl give me another? Well, hang on. This is 2 questions. If you want to know how many there are, that's going to be a perception roll. If you want to know if they're likely to attack you without provocation, that's going to be an insight roll. And they're both going to be from the owl.
Yeah. So I mean, what do you want to know?
You tell me. I'll tell you anything you want to roll for.
Well, as I'm asking them, like
Let's get numbers first.
Because if there's 2, that's not gonna be that bad. If there's 8, that's gonna be bad.
Actually, let's get numbers and armaments first.
Um, 15.
Okay. And what's your owl's intelligence?
It is 2.
Okay.
Intelligence of 2.
So your owl can count how high?
That's a good question. I presumably in terms of 1, more than 1, a lot.
All right. Then the owl says a lot.
So it looks like there's a lot. Well, the other thing though, remember I can actually look through the owl's eyes.
Oh, can you?
That's what we're doing. So I guess.
All right.
How many?
Well, you're trying to look
That's
through
why
the
I'm a
eyes
horse.
of an owl that's zooming by, but I mean it can zoom in though. You know, it's like a zoom in enhance
Well,
effect
and
here
that's
with
the
this
other
owl.
thing too. Is like I'm not interested
So-
in risking the owl, so I'm not gonna get close enough to.
The owl is
Right,
mostly
so-
focused on the mission. You do notice that there's mice near the looters, and he's a little more interested in that. But to your look, you'd say it's your guess is 4 or 5.
Okay, so yeah, it looks about 4 or 5.
Can you tell what
We
their armor
definitely
What?
need to fight these guys, obviously.
What was the question?
What was
Oh, can you tell what they're armed with? Actual weapons, or is it like improvised door handles?
That you don't have to roll for. As I mentioned before, it was baseball bats or baseball bat equivalents. They'd definitely be like improvised instruments. It's not. They're not like long swords and chainmail.
I think that if I hunker down and sneak into the middle of them, using this fog as kind of a way to disguise ourselves, that between me and Calf, we might be able to disperse them without much of a fight. They don't sound like they're wanting to fight. It sounds like they're more interested in the looting.
Rogue here
it probably
has
worked
sneak
pretty
attack.
well. Like, check on-
Yeah. Hey, let's fight these guys. Let's do it. Cat goes in with her axe, goes for fighting, trying to lop off whoever's head is closest.
Okay.
Okay, so it sounds like we're moving forward then.
All right.
We're going.
So I just need a couple of clarifications here. As I said, we're talking like 2 city blocks. Are you guys moving at a quickened rate, at a normal leisurely rate, and are you guys moving stealthily, or are you just like sauntering?
Stealthy?
Thistle wants to do stealthy to get in the middle of them where he can use his spear on the most of them without having to move a lot.
Cat
makes
is
sense.
sauntering.
Calf is what?
She's just
You already went?
Calf is sauntering. She's
Oh,
not
okay.
being stealthy about it. She's just, and I mean, perhaps a little bit quicker, but I think the whole group would be moving a little quicker.
Okay.
I mean, if anybody else is moving slower or wants to hang back, now's the time to say, I guess.
So I guess my next question is, who's leading the horse?
I guess I can do that if someone would be
Well,
so
you're-
kind to let me down.
You're on the horse.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
you're
and that's
on the
what I
horse.
was
Wait,
saying,
is he
so I
driving? But he's in the back. He's not driving the horse.
Yeah.
He can put his
Thistle.
arms around Mona.
Thistle was leading the horse by its what do you call
They
it?
can put their arms around Mona.
Stop trying to help the druid make moves.
Mona says,
I would
"Why
say-
I
I would
never," and she
say-
blushes.
If at least Calf and
Well, no,
can
I
take
figure
that.
if someone let me down, I can actually lead the horse out front. Plus, I
I
just
can.
don't- I mean, if Thistle's trying to sneak off, then I'm gonna need torchlight.
The horse says,
Okay.
"The horse says, I don't see how the heck I'm supposed to be stealthy." Freaking horse! No one ever makes stealthy plans for the horse. Just leave me into danger. Bunch of ungrateful. Sorry, guys.
Do you want me to ask the
I'm
horse?
I'm having too much fun with the horse. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm thinking that we let the horse and the druid take up the rear, and the three of us kind of move ahead and engage. And if Calf can draw their attention, that gives a chance for the other two of us to sneak in there and stir up some problems from in the midst. That's my thoughts anyway.
Yeah, so Calf helps Yun Min down so he can lead so they can lead the horse, and then leads the attack or leads the group.
Okay.
Will we roll for initiative yet?
Not yet. You guys are still walking down. So
Okay.
some of you are being stealthy, some of you are walking at normal speed, and you guys are just headed straight towards this group of looters, right? Just to
Yep.
make sure I understand everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm kind of crouched down, but I'm still using my spear to kind of probe ahead of me a little bit.
Mhm.
So I'm not completely blind.
Okay. Give me just a second here, guys. Okay.
The DM needs a second. It's never good.
Look at all those nice little houses.
So I'll just be honest with you for a second. I have a couple battle maps here prepared for if you guys had a battle in the back alleys. I didn't really expect you guys to just.
Take the main one.
Hey, I mean that's fine. You guys do you. I don't have a map prepared for that specifically, so I'm improvising a little. I didn't know you guys were gonna be like, let's just fight people out in the open because it's fun. So it's gonna take me. I apologize. Next time I'll be ready. Now that I know.
You have to be prepared for everything that we think of on the fly, Matt. I mean,
Are,
geez.
are you not entertained?
I am entertained.
I'm ready
I
here.
really am.
All right.
All right, next time, guys, we saddle Xanathar and we'll just go wherever we want, basically.
So give me 1 second to improvise here. All right.
Now, I'd rather deal with looters than undead any day of the week.
Wrong button. Button. Copy. To do paste. Oh, those are way too big. All right. Did I mention I was not prepared for this? All right.
In 5e, you can split your movement up, right?
Yep. Absolutely.
The dainty shoe.
The shoe is Mona, in case that wasn't clear.
Yeah.
Oh, cute.
All right, we're just gonna scale it up. This is awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not going to work. Are you guys familiar with theater of the mind?
That's not me.
All
I
right.
can imagine stuff.
So, everybody, you guys, march up. You're not being particularly quiet. We're going to do some quick
Except
checks
for the
here.
stealthy people?
Well, that's true. The stealthy people are. We're going to do some quick perception checks here for the looters. Let's see what their perception is.
In 5e, do tieflings take fire damage, or are they still immune to it?
I think they take half damage. I think I gotta look it up to tell you for sure. All right. The looters made terrible rolls, so they have no idea you guys are coming. They are too busy looting. So you guys come up into this kind of clearing. As I said before, it's kind of a bottleneck in the street. And there are indeed 5 guys. They got baseball bats, or baseball bat equivalents. I don't really know if anybody plays baseball in Waterdeep specifically.
Maybe
But
table legs.
I was going to say they got table legs. They got broken brooms. Clip, you're like, no! They've got
They
rakes.
do have resistance to fire damage.
Say what now?
They do have resistance to fire damage.
Okay.
Hellish resistance.
Resistance, so not immunity, so it's half damage.
Correct.
That's what I thought. Okay.
I was going to suggest we start Calf on fire to get more of a demonic look, but
I am the
there's
dread
actually
pirate
a
Roberts.
again, that's probably not a good idea.
Now, if you'd like,
Mhm.
are you sharing that concept? Are you out loud saying, "Man, I wish we could set someone on fire. It'd look really cool."
If only when Yo was here.
Yeah.
No,
Or
no,
if only you had a magic user who could cast illusions.
That's true.
All right.
I think at this point, though, we just know that you're kind of druidic based on.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Do you say this out loud? What if only if only you had a good Holocaust cloak or whatever it is,
Yeah, we'll do a princess bride.
If only we could, it would be really cool, guys, if we could set someone on fire. Like, what if we made someone look like they were on fire?
If this whole kind of turns these like Calf.
Okay.
Cap is, I don't know that Cap is listening. I think she's just focused on whose head is closest for chopping.
Now,
So because the illusion on her, like, she might not notice. She'd probably be cool with it, but she's probably not listening to a lot of planning. I
now,
think she just wants to go.
now that you guys are having an audible conversation in range of the looters who didn't notice you, I'm going to make a new roll for them real quick. Please continue your conversation loudly. You have been spotted now. So, not by all of them, but the nearest looter, he's got, again, a baseball bat adjacent object. And there's a cart, like a merchant's cart, but not currently in use because it's the middle of the night. It's like 11 o'clock, in case you guys are wondering. And there's a merchant's cart full of apples, and it's got like a covering over it. And he's got a baseball bat, and he's trying to destroy one of the wagon wheels to the apple cart. You're not really sure what that would accomplish. Like, if he wants an apple, or if he's just like, I hate carts. One bit me as a kid. You're not sure what's up, but he's attacking the cart, and he hears you guys having a conversation about lighting people on fire. And he wheels around with the baseball bat with kind of a crazed look in his eye.
Can I roll a perception check to see if that's like a possessed sort of craze?
No,
Or just like a
but you can roll initiative.
da-da-da-da?
All right.
Do we all roll initiative?
Yep, everybody.
Okay. How do I?
And then you tell me what your number. Oh, okay.
Where's
That's not
initiative on the sheet? Oh,
It's in the top middle.
I would have had a natural 20, except my character gets a -1 on initiative, so I got a 19.
There we go.
Ah, 11.
I got 11 as well. Ha!
I don't have any advantage in initiative, but I know barbarians. Don't barbarians get some kind of a bonus for initiative, or is it just?
I don't
or is
think-
that when I'm?
I don't think at level 1.
Box on the top of your character
Oh.
sheet, right next to your armor class, it'll tell you.
Okay.
Ian Moo? Oh.
Yeah, I have no bonus.
I have initiative of 13, and the owl has initiative of 15. The owl doesn't have a name yet, but I'll be sure to come up with something you can't pronounce by next time.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm not trying to be like that Fox News guy that like mispronounces the names of like the
No,
Arabian
that's fine.
embassies on purpose. I promise. I'm just really. I can barely speak English, so
No, like,
and that's my
my-
native tongue.
My
So-
pronunciation's not fantastic either, so.
What's the name of that little imp that always harassed Superman? Let's use that.
Mr. Mixelplex. I can say that one.
Yeah, I figured you could say that.
I've been practicing in case he ever shows up, but I have to make him say it backwards.
Still
All right.
one of the best episodes of the anime.
Is that everybody?
You did better than the looters.
All right, and
There's 5 looters.
there are 5 looters. And what we're going to do here is, even though that's your guys' initiative, Calf, because you were ready for battle and you charged in to begin with, you're going to get a surprise round, which means you get to act first, and then we'll start with the initiative order.
Okay. So the guy who has spotted us, I would like to try chopping off his head with my axe.
All right, not a problem. He's easily within 30 feet of you. I assume that's your speed, 30 feet?
Yes.
He's easily within 30 feet of you, so you run right up to him. Why don't you give me a damage roll?
Damn it.
Not damage, sorry, attack roll. Why don't you give me an attack roll?
Do you have that set up?
I'm just looking at my sheet
Yeah.
for.
It would be towards the middle in attacks. You may or may not have one already set up.
Because I've got armor class, initiative, and speed. I don't
bel-
see.
Yeah, below that's hit points, then below that you see hit dice, and then below that attacks and spell casting.
Oh, I've got successes, failures, and death saves.
Okay,
Oh,
yeah, right
no,
below
I
that.
see.
Do
Okay,
you,
I'm
do you have
sorry.
anything in that box there, or is it empty?
Yes. So I've got a great axe and I've got a javelin, and I'm using rage damage.
You're not raging unless you would like to rage. You have to tell me if you want to rage.
I don't need to rage right now.
What?
Oh, so I click on my great axe. I got a 19. There we go.
Nice.
All right.
Nice.
You hit. You do
Yeah,
not miss
then-
him.
Yay.
Now you give me
You
damage
click
roll.
on Great Axe on the right below the 19. Click Great Axe, and that'll roll the damage for you.
Blow the. Hang on. Oh, that'll roll the damage.
Yep.
Yeah.
5 splashing.
Yeah. All right.
Do you only have 14 strength?
She does.
Okay.
She did not min-max her barbarian.
That's fine. 14's still pretty solid.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm just used to Pathfinder, where level 1 characters make 5 attacks for, with plus 5 damage on each one. So it's a little, there's a little bit of power difference in how Pathfinder does
I got a
things
quick
versus
point of
5th
clarification.
edition.
Yep.
Double check. 5e spears and javelins are different. How javelins can be thrown?
they both can.
They both can.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they have a different. I think this is off the top of my head, so I'm not sure. I think a javelin is 1d4 and a spear is 1d6. I think.
1d10.
Oh, really?
I guess pike
Oh.
is what I was asking.
Two-handed. I think it makes a difference because you can do a spear two-handed. I think that's the big difference. But again, I'm going off the top of my head here.
That's
I'm
what I
trying
was
to.
curious about. I just couldn't remember.
All right. So that's 5 damage, which leaves you with okay. The looter still has his head, but he is bloodied, which means that he has half his hit points or less.
Awesome. So that was my sort of first thing, and then do we go in the order of initiative?
That's right. So it's going to be Thistle next. Unless there was anything else you wanted to do, like if you wanted to deliver a one-liner to really scathe him or anything like that.
No, I think I'm good for now.
All right. Then
I'll try and come up with a sheet for next time, so that if I do want to just throw something out, I can just pull from my list.
well, you're a barbarian, so you might be more of a war cry person than a zinger person too. So it might be more like it's axe time. You could workshop that. Feel free to use that though if that's what you want to go with.
Let me ask you a question.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Thistle, you're up.
Okay, I'm gonna pop my head up just over the fog, just enough to look around and see who I'm in range of.
All right. You are closest to the looter who was attacking the cart. There is one other looter in range, who is alerted to the presence because of the noise. So he's turned to face you guys now. All the looters actually are alerted now. Now the surprise round is over. They were alerted by the noise of when their comrades going, "Ow, that's smarts."
So the one attacking the card, is that the same one Calf went for?
Yeah, that's the same one Calf went. He's bloodied, and then there's another one who's fresh, hasn't been attacked yet, who's also in your range, your melee range.
Oh, well, I know better than to get in the way of a barbarian.
And her prey.
Yeah, so I'm going to go for the new guy with my pike.
Mm.
And I got a 16.
Okay, that hits. Why don't you give me damage?
1d10. 8.
All right.
8 piercing.
All right, this guy is bloodied as well. He actually looks worse than the other guy now. What do you hit him with?
Pike.
All right.
Piercing attack. Please tell me you had a friend right behind him.
He did not.
Bummer.
You wanna give me a little flavor for that though? You want to describe like a cool arr.
No, as soon as I stab him, though, I'm going to disappear back into the fog and yell, Marco.
Are you actually trying to disengage and step away from him, or are you just?
No, I'm just pulling my spear back for the next strike.
Okay, so you're just trying to stealth yourself. You
Yeah.
can't really hide yourself from him, but you're hiding yourself from other people, the other looters, basically.
Correct.
Okay, I'm with you. All right, now it's the owl's turn.
Okay. Owl will fly down.
Owl fly down.
Carry the looter that Calf is attacking, or in other words, make the use the help action.
Right.
And fly back.
All right. So basically, what that means is he flies over and like kind of pecks and like distracts the guy. You know, it's like beating his wings at him. And the guy's like, "Hey, what the heck is all these birds?" And now he's more concerned about birds than the large hulking barbarian woman in front of him.
Hey, anyone that's seen that Hitchcock play will.
Well, that's what it is, man. It freaked him out as a kid. He's like, "Oh no, birds! My only weakness besides axes." And then the owl flies back out of his range. All right, and then it is your turn, Yinmu.
Okay. For now, I'll just stay by the horse and.
Mona, by the way, clings to you now for protection.
Well, no, remember, I'm down. I'm on the ground.
Oh, and then she clings to the horse for protection. The horse goes. Ugh. You noticed to your dismay that's been over 10 minutes that you can still understand this horse?
And actually, I will use a bonus action.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll draw one of my batons. I'll
Okay.
use a bonus action to cast Shillelagh on it.
Okay.
And then I will condition prepare a reaction in case any of the looters step close enough to attack them.
Okay. So you're ready in action if somebody gets in your range, basically. Melee range?
Yes.
Okay, not a problem. All right, then we will drop to Calf again.
I would like to try hitting this guy again. He seems distracted.
Okay, he is, so you get advantage, which means you get to make 2 rolls.
So at the top of your sheet, you'll see a little button that says advantage. You can either click that or just push the thing twice.
Oh, yeah, advantage.
Yeah, just make sure you unclick it afterwards so you're not advantage on everything.
Got it.
Or I might have an issue.
So I got, it looks like 23.
Okay, that hits.
And then I'm 8 slashing damage.
All right. Well, you rolled an 8?
Yeah, 6 plus 2.
Ah, nice. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Yeah. You fell him. Now.
Also, I have switched back to normal, so we're good on that.
Okay. You were trying to behead him specifically. Is that what you're trying to do?
Yeah.
All right. Not a problem. You your vorpal blade goes thicker thack, and his head goes flying off in true Hellion fashion.
Excellent.
It's gross. His body without a head just stays perfectly still for a second, and then just slumps over like a crumbled piece of paper.
Cap is pleased.
Makes you think about life. Makes you think about the frailty. Clip, you're up.
And the end thereof.
Yeah, how we're all just skeletons on the inside.
Is there any of them that are still distracted-ish or like taken aback from the whole decapitation?
The only distracted one just is now more distracted by his lack of head. So no, all the other ones are now aware of your guys' presence.
Well, no. Are they like, oh my gosh, his head fell off because we're here and scared?
They are present.
Would that be a perception roll?
It would. Now let me give you guys a quick.
If the decapitation had any intimidation effect.
Yes.
If Kath would like to try to intimidate on her next turn, she's welcome to try it. Or are you trying to intimidate too? Do you want to make an intimidation? Like that's gonna happen to you next?
No, I'm being sneaky.
Oh, then no.
Or at least attempting to.
Okay.
Okay. So, I'm going to take.
There's one other guy. There's one other guy in melee range.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Can I sneak
Mm-hmm.
behind him?
You can certainly try. Why don't you give me a stealth roll?
You got some fog cover, so theoretically, if possible.
Yeah. In fact, fog cover, I'll give you advantage.
We'll roll again. 14 for stealth.
All right. Give me a second. Let me see what his passive perception is. Oh yeah, easily. This guy is way not even paying attention. So yeah,
Already bloodied.
you easily come up behind him. So yeah, why don't you go ahead and give me that attack roll? I'm not going to give you advantage on it, but I will give you the sneak attack if you make
That's
it.
fine. I'm gonna do that with a dagger.
Hmm?
Six. That was a critical fail.
The in the mist, you just don't. Even though he's distracted, the mist just kind of screws you up. You miss him. Do you want to stay in range, or do you want to try to sneak away without? Because he hasn't noticed
I'm gonna
you.
try and sneak away a bit.
To move out of range of his him getting you back. Okay, you sneak back like 10, 15 feet.
That's cool.
All right, and then we're going to jump to the looters. So the three looters, first of all, the three looters who were out of melee range now move into melee range. Let's just get that out of the way. So you guys now have open range on the rest of them. The looter who Clip just missed is going to run over to attack Calf. He says, "No, my best friend!" And he is brandishing a hoe. Not like a promiscuous woman, but like a garden implement. It's got like it's what Daffy Duck steps on, and then it slaps him in the face.
That would be a rake.
No, a hoe.
No, it's a hoe.
See?
The one attacked the other 5 people who just stepped out of the alley. They're wielding rakes.
No, it's like a blade on a thing.
Well, no,
And then
we know what a hoe is. We're just thinking of the
We're
skit.
just arguing over whether it's a hoe or a rake.
Whether Daffy Duck steps on a rake or a hoe, but we don't need to do that. We can. Do I need to? Do I need to?
You don't.
roll
You,
for something?
you don't need to do anything. You need to just cross your fingers that he doesn't hit you.
Oh, okay.
All right. He made a really bad roll. I assume your AC is higher than 6. So he misses you. He clearly is still intimidated. The other 3 guys are now in melee range. But because they were not melee range before, they can't get in melee range of you guys in one turn either. So they're not able to attack yet. But they will definitely be attacking you guys next turn if they are still alive. And that brings us back up to the top to Thistle.
Okay. I got one guy bloodied. Right.
Yes. Yeah, he looks like a stiff wind would knock him over. Probably why he just missed Calf, actually. Besides being upset.
Is he? He's within range where I could get up to him.
Yeah, yes, but he's next to the barbarian. This is the guy with the hoe, who's who's almost dead.
Slightly alive.
Okay. I'm gonna roll an attack on him,
Okay.
but I would like to get as close as I can before I initiate that.
Okay. Just like uncomfortably close.
Like, close enough that I could whisper to him if he
Okay.
suddenly noticed me.
Okay. So uncomfortably close it is. All right. So you get right up in his grill. You're like nose to nose to him, except your nose is. Oh, that's weird. Okay. I just thought about that. Sorry.
I'm so happy about this. Okay, so I got a natural 20.
Oh, okay. You can whisper whatever you want, man.
And I'm going to whisper in his ears, take your remaining friends and go home now. Otherwise, I end you now.
Oh, okay. So this is not an attack roll. This is what? Intimidation?
Yeah.
All right. You say that, and he's almost dead anyway, so, I mean, it wouldn't have maybe taken a lot of convincing to begin with. Mm-hmm. He throws the hoe down. Sorry. And he says... he's throwing a hoe down, guys. He's having a party. He throws down his weapon and lets out a basically, ah! And runs screaming past his friends who are all like, what?
The Wilhelm scream.
And runs off. Yeah. More like the Goofy scream. And
Okay.
he runs away. It doesn't look like he took his friends with him though, but he is out of there. He's out of the battle. He dashes and just flees.
Okay.
You guys still have 3 looters who are in good health. All right, that's going to be your turn, so that's going to take us to the owl.
Okay, was anyone else within
Oh, they're all in
melee
range
range?
now. They're all in
Okay,
range.
they're all within range.
There's 3 more looters, and they're all in range.
So I guess it'll. I guess everyone else is still kind of being, well, not necessarily sneaky anymore, but Will's is the one nearest to Calf again.
Okay. Well, that one's the one that just ran off.
Oh, okay. Well then.
So there's 3 looters who have not been engaged yet.
Okay.
They are
And
bachelors. Bachelors in battle.
Who is there? Another one near Calf or Clip?
They're just in general range of you, but here, I'll help you out. One of them has a, it looks like it was probably used to be the handle to some kind of like guard implement, but it's like broken, so he's got like a short handle. One of them has a rake, and the third one has what looks like a bedpost snapped off of a fancy bed that actually probably would make a decent baseball bat if, push came to shove.
All right. Well,
So you
we'll
got
go
bedpost
for,
guy, you got rake guy, and you got ambiguous handle guy.
We'll go after ambiguous handle guy.
All right. This is the owl, so you're just having it doing a help action.
Yeah, just the help action.
All right, so your unnamed owl, sweeps in and distracts him, and he like makes misses, but flies off. So he's a little distracted now. He's trying to pick the owl poop out of his hair, so his focus isn't 100% in the game now. And then it's your turn.
Oh yes. I will. I think I'll create an illusion. What is the range on that?
Which spell?
30 feet. Minor illusion.
Okay.
It's only 30 feet.
Okay.
So, and it's only a 5-foot box.
Mhm.
Of course, granted, you can hide the bottom of it with the mist.
Okay.
So, Calf seems to be the most intimidating. I will. Are they within 30 feet?
Yes. They're melee range.
So on the opposite side of rake guy, I will have an image of Calf
Okay.
here.
Can I just pause for a second? I don't want to embarrass anybody, but can I just pause by how flattered Heidi was that you called her intimidating? She's like, "Aw."
Okay.
Sorry. I apologize. Okay, so you want to make an illusion of calf's top half.
Yeah, well, 5 feet.
5 feet of calf.
So whatever that's not gonna cut.
That's most of her. That's like knees up. Knees up.
Yeah.
And where would that be? How close to this guy?
Just within 5 feet, like within melee range.
And you want to make it appear just out of nowhere, or do you want to have it like pop up?
Yeah,
or...
sure. It'll just pop
Ah! Okay, I like it. He's not intimidated in a way in which he's going to run away, but he is thoroughly confused in a way. Now, is this the same guy with the owl, or is this a different guy?
No, this is a different guy.
Okay, he is thoroughly confused in as much as the next person attack him will get advantage. So basically like the owl. All right.
I'm sorry, I missed that.
He made 5 feet of calf appear, and now this guy is distracted.
And I'll go ahead and take my handle action, pull out my other baton. My object interaction.
Right. That's fine. Okay. So you're armed now. You're dual armed. And we're going to jump down to Clip. No, Calf. Sorry, Calf.
Yep.
So Calf is gonna go after the person who just saw another calf because that's creepy. And she would like to try to cut his head off.
All right. You got advantage. So give me 2 rolls of the D20.
Okay.
2 attack rolls.
Advantage. And then this thing, 21.
All right. Is that a nat 20? Do you know? Does it say?
It says it was a 17 plus 2 strength and plus 2 proficiency.
So it wasn't a crit. That's all I was checking. And then go ahead and give me an attack roll.
8 slashing damage.
All right.
Very nice.
All right. So he falls down. That he actually had a few less hit points, so you do succeed in chopping this guy's head off. He hadn't been attacked; he just was not as hardy as his fellows. And so you lob his head off, and it goes flying, and he also kind of crumples down. There's 2 looters left. They're both fresh. They've got all their hit points. That's true. And Clip, you're getting ready to take your turn when suddenly you guys hear a noise. And you all look up, and coming from around the corner, sorry, I got distracted by a text. Coming from around the corner, you see the Dragonborn.
Oh.
He's riding his horse. He's surrounded by his 3 squires, and
another horse because we stole his horse.
The squires are not on horses.
Okay, so he's on a horse.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and by the way, Yinmu, you distinctly hear your horse say, "Oh, great, it's Clyde. Thinks he's better than the rest of us. Just because he's the master's favorite. Just gonna try to show me up." Anyways, you see the Dragonborn. He comes around the corner on Clyde, and he's got his three squires on foot. Yinmu, you were sitting with him before, and you made a bad perception roll last game. I don't know if you remember. So you failed to notice that although he's in mostly full armor, and at the time he didn't have a helmet, what you didn't notice is that his right hand was ungloved. His left hand had a gauntlet on, but his right hand was ungloved when you saw him last. And the reason it was ungloved is because this time he's wearing a gauntlet and it has a long sword built into it.
Nice.
He comes around the corner on his horse, and he pulls up the long sword, and he points it, not at you, Calf, and not at you, Yinmu. He points his long sword directly at Mona on the horse and says, "Vile witch, prepare to die."
Da, 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 da.
And that's where we'll end our game for the night.
Yay!
Not before Thistle yells back, "Well, she might be a witch, but she's our witch."
The looters are like, "Yeah!" No, wait, we're not on your side.
All right.
All right, well played, everybody.
Closing remarks, or we just split?
I like the idea of hanging on the cliffhanger, but if you guys want to say a few words, I be my guest.
I haven't been overly impressed by their competence. Now, granted, combat ability, 5 stars. Would fight with again. But, like, as far as, like, social capabilities and torch carrying, I'd put a 3 on the torch carrying and maybe, like, a 2. Like, you guys, I'm gonna give you guys get an okay fantasy Yelp review from Yinmu.
I'm surprised you didn't make your servant talk to the horse. Actually, like I can't speak to animals when I servant. Like you deal with the horse.
But I had another Asian spellcaster once, and they're one of their quirks was they could talk to horses. It never came up. I was so disappointed. We never ran into a single horse in that campaign.
See, that's the difference with my roleplay style. If you want to talk to a horse, I promise you're gonna get to talk to a horse in my game. You guys,
I've already actually made a request. It's eventually going to be granted.
I was gonna say that. That's actually something I never talked to you boys about. So. Diana specifically requested that you guys could encounter an owlbear at some point. Heidi, I don't even know if you remember, but one of the first emails we had about this, you said you'd love to fight some lizard men.
Yeah,
and
I mean...
I'm going to make sure both those things happen. So I need to ask the boys if you guys have any requests. If there's a monster you would like to be attacked by, I'm here. I am here to support that and make it happen.
I would really like to meet a gang that consists of a red dragon, a gold dragon, and a beholder.
Done.
No, I'm the beholder. No.
You're more concerned by the beholder than the dragon?